Very real rustic
Yeah,
countryside farmhouse.
that's
I don't
real
know if I'm going to
rustic.
book that one, but
Yeah.
uh,
Different error. I love how it's so human. It's like, oh my God, I feel so good. It's a different error this time.
I'm a product manager who likes to design things,
And I'm an engineer who likes to try new toys.
and we're going to try to learn AI together. Today, we're going to try to rebuild the Airbnb website, and we're going to use it using Replit. So let's see how it goes. So, what do you think is the first prompt here? Do we just say build Airbnb?
Yeah, we could get really creative with this. Now, do you want to recreate it like pixel matching, or do you want to recreate it in its own interpretation or our own interpretation?
That's a good question. I think I want to see how it does with like its creative thinking. I think that's something that I kind of want to test out of like how it makes up requirements and stuff instead of just like saying here rebuild this exact same screenshot. So, how would you describe Airbnb?
Hmm. Can we ask the AI to describe that for us?
I'm not sure if there's a way to do it without spending some credits. So, why don't we just keep it simple? Say I want to build a booking site uh
Stays.
for
Unique.
homestays.
Yeah.
Airbnb. Nah, I won't mention Airbnb.
Oh,
Just see what happens.
that's an interesting challenge.
Okay, they already named it. That's pretty interesting. It's called Home Haven
That's a good name.
and a logo. Wow, it already came up with the logo before anything. Okay, plan, tech stack, modern web app, integrations. Uh-oh. It's already integrations. Homestay plan, booking platform, property listing search, basic booking system makes sense. Initial planning, check. So I guess that's what this is.
Cool, cool,
Plan
cool.
approval. I guess it wants me to do this approval. Visual preview, nice. I like that it's telling me it's going to give me a visual preview and then a prototype last. Do I want any additional features? I'm kind of scared to say yes because I don't want to take too long. What do you think?
I like that they give you that option so that if you just want to go full blown, full app end to end, you can do it. But for our case, I think we can just approve the plan and just start it now.
Okay, we're starting. That's interesting. Get notified when your app is ready. So it's actually letting you know it's going to take longer than you think.
Oh, it's like building the visual part actually iteratively. That's kind of funny. But it's like using a different name than what it named the project, Home Haven, and the visual builder says Stayscape, which is also a clever name too.
Okay, so this is just supposed to be a visual preview, so this is not actually interactive yet.
Yeah, I suppose this is like what designers or I don't know, UI designers would build and kind of like draw out these things that they would add to this. Pretty slick so far, though. How are you feeling about what it looks like so far?
I'm actually pretty impressed with the visual preview side of it. I think it's so quick to give you something to react to, which, is something I really like to see. The pictures are pretty sweet too. I mean, modern villa with pool, that looks like a modern villa with pool. Cozy mountain retreat, that looks like a cozy mountain retreat. So it's like very real rustic
Yeah,
countryside farmhouse.
that's
I don't
real
know if I'm going to
rustic.
book that one, but
Yeah.
uh, I wonder if it's actually generating these images on the fly.
I don't know, but it's pretty impressive. Like, this is very relevant. Usually, I would expect it to be some placeholder or very like inaccurate, image that is somewhat related, but not as related. But just looking through these images, yeah, that looks like New York. I haven't been to Bali, so can't really comment on that. Greece, that definitely looks like it. So it's the visualization itself, even though it's not like the actual interactive prototype, it's pretty good.
Now, the New York thumbnail is actually New York, right? Like, I mean, I'm looking at the movie poster. It says Wonder Woman, and this is Vitamin Water ad. So, like, it's not necessarily like generated. This looks like a picture someone took.
I wonder if they're using some kind of image API that they're searching for and then putting that into like the visual preview, which is a nice touch, I think. They could have gone with any other placeholder, but they went for a very accurate, visualization.
It's not perfect because something went wrong with the camping button, but I mean, it's such a small thing. Everything else seems pretty pixel perfect, actually. I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah, I like that it really thinks about how this website should be marketed. Like you have the testimonials, you have become a host, and here's why you should become a host. So it went from I want to build a booking site for homestays and then decided to fill out all of this thing, assuming that, we're going to be targeting hosts, we're going to be targeting people who want to book, do these stays. So it's actually doing pretty well to understand your assignment.
Now, this is the part where I'm a bit confused because, as far as I can tell, the visual preview is done. I'm not seeing anything new here, but this says visual preview is still like in progress, and now it's saying started building your app. So now I'm wondering if it forgot to stop somewhere and just went straight into building a creative prototype, interactive prototype. Because it does say here the agent's currently creating a fully interactive version. So I don't know whether there was supposed to be a part where I could interject and say like, sorry, I don't like it at all, or whether it just continued without my permission.
Yeah, I think that might be a bug on their end. The visual preview is definitely done since it's creating some TypeScript files below and building out some real co code. I assume this is going to be part of the interactive prototype, but I do agree like it should be a check mark on the visual preview and have like the loading bar and the interactive prototype.
So you're saying that like the bug is that it's saying it's still in the middle of the visual preview, but it's actually part of the feature to continue without asking my permission.
I think it's both. Like, I agree with you. It probably should say, "Did you like this visual preview? Would you like to change something else about it?" And then like that would be a great engagement with the user to say like, "Oh, like I like a darker theme, or maybe I like more of the fun colors with like this specific color palette." And it could iterate based on the visual preview. But it seems like based on how this is going, it's going straight to the code. So you don't really get to, play around with more of the visual preview. So you have to wait for like the code to be built, which I think what you pointed out there is a really good feature that they should incorporate, which is being able to prototype with just the visual preview rather than the interactive prototype.
I'm a bit scared because I see there's a button that says pause, but I'm a bit scared of clicking that in the middle of it building the code. Like it feels like that button is there for a reason, but I don't know how well it can pick up where it left off if I decide to just change everything.
That's a good question. I don't know. Like that's my same exact worry too, is like if I hit pause and I'm like, I have a question that's totally unrelated to the changes you're about to make. And then you go and resume, does it pick up where it was planning to do, or does it get more confused? Yeah, I don't know.
I see that there's like a newsletter file now, which I don't remember seeing as a feature.
Huh.
Oh, there is a newsletter feature. I see. I didn't catch that. But let's just, I guess, take a chance to compare and contrast Airbnb. So, um, although Airbnb is kind of on a bigger, wider screen, it's very similar, right? Like it has like the where, the check it, the checkout, to guests, has a little like icons for what type of things, and then it's very visual. Actually, it's very similar in a lot of ways. So
It
nothing too
really is.
crazy.
It's got the same tags, the one that we have in our visual preview says new, and it's got the heart in the same spot. The star rating, the location, uh, and it seems like we have different information here, like four beds, three baths, but in the Airbnb version, it's like just the dates and the miles away. So it's optimizing for different things, but very similar so far. Design-wise, how do you like it compared to Airbnb? Like they definitely have different principles here. In Stayscape, it's like a very big banner of like here's, these questions you should answer and we'll help you find the thing. Versus Airbnb, it's like very small, very miniaturized at the very top. And I think like for Airbnb, they're trying to have you focus on these very beautiful stays and have that as like the showcase rather than Stayscape, which is like this big widget that asks, okay, where do you want to go, what the dates are, and how many people.
Yeah, I think those are two different things. Um, Airbnb definitely optimized, like you said, for making the visual more appealing so that maybe they assume people will be attracted to things they didn't like it's not a search first, it's more like a browse first experience on Airbnb. I don't think that Dayscape is necessarily like locked into one or the other. I think they're trying to play both the browsing and the search experience. So yeah, if we decided we wanted to make it more like an Airbnb, we can say like, hey, uh, make it so that the find your perfect getaway is a lot smaller and show more thumbnails. I also wonder if it's not fair because this is a very narrow window, and so maybe like that's why it looks kind of off compared to Airbnb.
Yeah, that's true. We might be able to just open it up in a new tab or something.
Don't know where I can do that.
Is like a preview? Oh, maybe that's different.
Yeah, I'm afraid of trying to do something here, so
Uh,
maybe we'll just wait for it to finish.
Sounds good.
Which, interesting enough, I was a big fan within like a minute, and now I'm a bit confused because it's been 10 minutes since we said yes to doing something, 11 minutes, and it's still building stuff out. So yeah, it's just spent a lot of time doing the interactive prototype without us being able to provide feedback on the visuals.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like with Bolt, when we, gave it a prompt, it went and go ahead and did all the things like it's doing now. With Replit, when you first started, it felt like a very different culture. It was like, oh, do you want to do this X, Y, and Z? And it felt like you were going to be interacting with it more iteratively and be able to, converse with the Replit agent. And it did in the beginning, but once it did the visual preview, it pretty much did the same thing as Bolt and just kept running with it, which I feel like it's a bit of a letdown because in the beginning it was like doing very good at asking you questions and doing a plan and still interacting with you, but then it kind of fell apart as soon as the visual preview started.
I'm wondering at what point we are able to do more iterations. Like now that it's building out all these features, I'm looking at this now. I'm like, okay, there's a host feature, there's a host dashboard, there's an explore page, there's a user profile page. Like it's building out the whole thing. Like it's not just building out what we see. And then do we then just like go into every component and try to iterate on that before we like something? Or I'm kind of curious how we will proceed from here.
Yeah, I guess the first thing we're gonna do is mess around with the front page and see, how much we can actually interact with it. And I'm sure we'll get lost enough in the deep links and see where how much it has built beyond the front page. But I agree with you. It seems like they're building a lot more than just the front page. Like it's doing multiple pages behind the front end or the front page.
This is the point where I get very restless because I don't know what to do. It's like, do I stop them now and like just say pause and like let me ask you some questions, or do I just let it continue? And I don't know. And it's also unclear how much more it's gonna do. Like I thought it was gonna be done like maybe around like popular destinations right here. And
Hmm.
like 7, 8 files, that seems reasonable. But then it's like auth page, all these other the host dashboard. I don't even think I wanted a host dashboard. I remember it asking me like, do you want us to build enhanced host features? And I didn't say yes. So that's quite a lot.
Yeah, it's already 14 minutes. Imagine if you had checked any of those additional features, how long they would have taken. No wonder it gave you a QR code to let you know when it would be done.
What does that QR code do? I'm kind of curious. I don't have it anymore. I was wondering like, what is it? Like, it's like signs you up to like download the app or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it's the Replit app since they advertise that you can do the same exact thing on the mobile. And maybe it's just like a push notification that your feature's done or your project is done
Oh, I
building.
didn't know they had a mobile app. That's interesting.
That would be an interesting experiment. Building an app with your mobile app.
Yeah, I guess I don't see why not. It's not like there's anything here that's like, well, I guess if you want to preview desktop, but yeah, if most of the time you're just waiting for it to do stuff and just chatting with it, I don't see why it wouldn't be useful to do it through an app. That's kind of interesting. I'm gonna download it right now.
In some ways, they seem to encourage you to do that, given how long it takes to build stuff here. Now they are being very thorough and building a lot of pages, so I have to give them that. But it does seem like this experience is definitely more for mobile, where you can just say, go open up the app, put in a couple prompts, come back to it later. It notifies you. You come back, you review it on your phone, and pretty much give your inputs again, and it goes off for another 15 minutes.
Oh man, what is it doing now? This is where I get worried because it finished everything. I was getting excited, and now it's saying it's running into all these issues, which
First try and it already breaks. You'd think they would have controlled and optimized and templatized at least some of these things where it takes your prompt, builds like the basic thing, and then it doesn't break because it's already been doing this a million times for other people. But it's kind of funny to see that it still breaks on the very first try.
yeah, this is where I was like, maybe don't build 14 pages at once. Just do something simple and make sure it works. Because now, as like from my perspective, I don't know what's going on anymore. And I can't even tell if I should. Now I even feel worse about stopping it because not only am I stopping it in the middle of it fixing something, it's clearly not even working. So like, I can't even see the visual preview anymore.
Yeah, now you're playing a delicate balance of do I just quit and cut my losses, or do I just let it keep cooking and hopefully it fixes itself and we can finally play around with the interactive prototype?
What would you do?
Honestly, I would just let it cook and see how this goes. I mean, if they advertise that this is like their agent and we're using it normally, I don't think we did anything too crazy, and this breaks, then that's just a normal experience that everyday people are going to get. Like, we're not doing anything fancy here.
It's funny you said we're using it normally because I'm pretty sure we just did two things. We haven't really done much other than say, here's the prompt, approved plan, and then it just ran with it.
Yes,
Oh my goodness. It's it's still struggling.
struggle bus. It's kind of funny to see the errors keep popping back up, and it's like, oh, we're still facing this issue. Let me just keep fixing this.
That's a good point, actually. It's not actually
Different error. I love how it's so human. It's like, oh my God, I feel so good. It's a different error this time.
goodness.
Hey,
Oh,
yo,
I can see
no
something.
errors.
Wait. What am I looking at?
Wait,
It's
is
still
this
doing something.
cleaning up some stuff? Okay, I love the little check boxes. Oh,
Oh no.
what is it doing?
It restarted, I think.
Ah, that always
Based
fixes things I learn
based
is
on the last message, I'm not really sure what it's doing.
we're convinced. Couldn't reach the app anymore. It took a screenshot of the app. Cool.
That's interesting. What is that for?
Maybe to verify it did.
Ooh. Oh, look, it looks so different when it's full screen like that.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
that uh
let me
oh
let me
similar
collapse.
to the Airbnb.
Let me
I mean, it
collapse.
still has a big hero image, but it's very similar.
Okay, interesting. Oh, this picture got changed somehow. Interesting.
Yeah, rustic became more modern, and then the cozy mountain retreat is still similar.
No,
I know.
that was the same.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm guessing this is now, well, this is sort of working. So let's go
Uh-oh.
explore. Oh wait, what? Oh, explore is just a smaller page.
Yeah, with a little bit different widgets.
Whoa. Okay.
Ooh, big
Um,
image. Very big image.
okay. Check in. Okay, none of this works, but that's okay. Map
Mhm.
view available in the app. What does that mean? Like the Replit app?
Honestly, I have no idea. It seems like a placeholder.
Book now. Okay.
Wow, they got a calendar widget.
That
It's a
does
little
not really
weird.
work, but it's
And the
okay.
colors are kind of weird. Is that just me or
Nope, it is weird.
like a cotton candy kind of color palette?
It's I don't know what the color palette's doing. Confirm booking. Authentication. What? All right.
So
How do I how do I authenticate?
maybe the register first.
Ah, do I have to register? I don't want to do that right now. Oh no. Okay, what if I just search for destinations? What if I say Miami, Florida? Does this actually work? Oh, search?
Uh, oh, try France.
France?
Yeah.
Search. Nah, I don't think the search actually works. Just,
Oh, boo.
I mean, generally it looks okay, but let's give it some feedback. Yeah, I really don't want to log in. Let's give it some feedback. Okay, so on here, let's do something different than Airbnb. So like Airbnb is very visual. What do you want to try differently
With this current one or like a totally different app?
with this current one? So like we have like the first iteration and it's asking us like how is it looking? Can you navigate, interact? Yes, but I feel like we need to do something different to compete with Airbnb. Do you have any ideas?
I do like well, I was gonna say the Airbnb filters are kind of interesting. They got cabins, amazing views, OMG, mansions. So those filters are very interesting, very fun, versus ours is very objective. It's a cabin, it's luxury, it's beachfront, uh, which is the same thing really that Airbnb is doing, but the wording is a lot better in my opinion. Not that Replit would need to change that.
I'm sorry, there's a potato.
That is a giant potato. Wow, that's impressive.
Okay, I forgot which one was Replit for a second because I was like, wait, this is not the real Airbnb website, is it? It is totally the real Airbnb website. Okay, um, how about we say like let's make these filters more emotional instead of like practical. Um, I don't know how I don't know how to say it, so I'm just gonna say like that. But okay, let's there's an element selector. Okay, let's say
Element selector.
can we make these visual filters more emotional instead of just categorical, like amazing views or once in a lifetime or something like that? Let's see what it comes up with.
Stolen from Airbnb.
Inspired by
I don't know. You seem to have another tab open.
inspiration. Oh, okay, here we go. I'm trying to think of like there's definitely a baseline of like how people want to interact when they're on a website like this, and I'm like, what would it be? What would be different about it? Like, how would we make it less just okay? This is easy to use, but this is more interesting to use. Okay, it's already updating stuff. Ah, it's really bugging me that it's like cutting off like that.
Yeah. Maybe, well, let's review what they've done so far. Cozy retreats. Yeah. Pure luxury. Sure, it's a little generic. Ocean magic. I kind of like that. Stunning views. Wild
Ooh,
escapes. I like wild escapes. Hot and new and dive in paradise.
that's cool. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, um, we can keep going, or we can kind of call it here. Which one do you want to do?
Hmm. Let's push it to its limit one more time.
Okay, we have we have 9 minutes.
Hopefully you can do it in this time.
Okay,
I have one idea. Okay, so this Stayscape, very generic. It's got listings, it's whatever, and you have like the search criteria at the very top. But what if you had more survey interactive based search. So it asks you, do you want something more cozy, or you're looking for something at the beach? I want it to come up with the interesting questions and then filter based on that and show me the results.
it's kind of just like I don't want to say it like this, but almost like a dating app kind of thing where it's like, do you like beaches or do you like movies or something, and then make it more interactive instead of just like tell us everything.
I wish I could tell you, but I haven't been on a dating app.
I also don't know. I realize I'm making stuff up.
Unfortunately, I'm with my partner before dating apps was a thing.
We clearly are out of our comfort zone here, but yeah, I get what you're saying, which is like instead of just saying, "Here, put in this information so we can give you more information." It's like, "Hey, let's have fun with this. Find your
Yeah,
perfect stay quiz." That's what we're trying to get to.
love that. I mean, it's already playing on the find your perfect getaway, but still love it.
Yeah, I think it's different. Find your perfect getaway versus like let us find your perfect getaway, or like let's match you up with the perfect getaway, which could be cool.
Yeah,
So like our this whole idea is like someone who has money and all the flexibility in the world just wants to see what comes up.
I think it's a good way for you to explore without really exploring.
That's one way to put it. I like it. Uh-oh.
It's doing things, refreshing pages.
You know what I realized is that I don't know how many credits we're using or how this whole system is working. Like we've just been talking to it, but I don't know how much we're getting charged for it.
We could be blowing through this. That's a good point. Maybe we should do a review of that after. You know,
Okay.
I think this feature is perfect for somebody who may have paralysis analysis. Like, you're given a bunch of options and you don't really
Mm.
know. So going through this quiz might help you with that. I do like the button colors though.
It's interesting that it keeps telling me like to try it out.
Ooh,
Oh, okay. Nestled in the mountains. Socializing and nightlife. Yep. Spacious for everyone.
love
Ah,
that.
four properties I didn't think about before.
Okay, well, the filtering did not work, but the concept was there.
Yeah. No, I like it. I think it executed it pretty well. Maybe not the same way I thought, but it makes sense. I think what I was trying to get it to do is just replace the whole search functionality, but that doesn't make sense. Why would you do that? Unless
You
you're
know, for somebody who just doesn't want to look through the properties, it may just give you recommendations, sifting through all these different ones. Maybe you don't want to be tied to a specific category. Maybe you do want to ask a couple questions that may have nuances, there may be your preference may be across different categories. So answering some of these questions may filter based on certain stuff that you may not necessarily know about which categories you want to look into.
it actually did it in a smart way. Now that I'm looking at it, it took your request and shoved it into a place that makes sense, which is like before you see like the explore and all that. So
Mhm.
yeah, it definitely made sense. So okay, let's recap. What do you think happened?
I think it started out really well with asking you whether you want to implement certain things or if that plan sounds good. And then after that, it kind of went off the rails and decided to do 50 things. And the visualization was cool, but it didn't ask you, whether that looked good or not. It just kind of built it out. The visualization, I think, was really cool about this product. I don't think I've seen it in other, AI tools. But it did take a really long time to build out the prototype, and we didn't even get to see most of those things. I'm not sure if that's a good or bad thing. In my opinion, my personal preference, I think it should have just focused on the front end page, or sorry, the home page, and let us kind of interact with that and build additional pages after asking us.
Yeah, I think I mostly agree with you in that the first visual thing was really, really impressive. Like I actually was really happy to see that. And then it took what, like 10, 15 minutes to get to the next part. And I just, again, like I don't know whether I should have interrupted it and said, "Hey, wait, let's just focus on this," or if that's just like the better way to work with it in the future. If you are if you know like Replit will just run with things after a certain point, then maybe you can be a little bit more prescriptive and say, just build the landing page, don't build anything else, and then like check in. But because we didn't have a chance to play with it before, we just dove in. It gave us everything, which was interesting. But the other thing that was really interesting was watching it run into all the bugs and fixing it. Like, I think the that experience is unique because I actually didn't know what was going on. Like, there's nothing I could do, and I'm wondering whether like the bugs count towards your usage or not. Because what if you run into so many bugs and you burn through all your credits? Like, does that just put you in a weird position with Replit? I don't know.
Yeah, and it fixed the bugs by itself without asking you whether it should fix the bugs versus other tools. I think they ask you explicitly, do you want to, fix the bugs and it will use your credits. I think Replit here was like, no, we'll take care of all this, but I would be curious if it also uses your credits as well.
Okay. I think this is good. I think this is a good first step with Replit. I think later in the future we can kind of be a little bit more surgical with how we build stuff and not just let it run in and see if it does a little better with that.
Yeah, we're learning together. I think like
Yay.
really good use case because I think most people are just gonna write one sentence, be like, build me Spotify. And then this exact thing will happen. It will build too much, it will have some errors, it will do, you know, pages that you probably won't even touch until very much later.
Cool. Then I guess that's it. We can try this with another tool next time.
Yeah, sounds good.
We're just a PM and an engineer trying to figure out AI. If you're on the same path, subscribe and learn with us.